Friday. My name's Joanna. Field Force Friday is a video blog series that we're starting today. This is our first episode, and it will cover a range of technology topics, field service best practices, anything that will help you run a better business. So let's get started. Our topic this week is a technology term we've been hearing a lot about, software as a service, or SaaS as we'll refer to it in this video. Today I'm going to take a deeper look at SaaS deployment and how it applies to your service business. So first of all, what is SaaS? You've probably heard the term software as a service. It basically just applies to when you purchase software and pay for the subscription to use it. So for example, SaaS is how you deploy cloud software. Here's our cloud. With a SaaS deployment model, I can get the same software on any of my devices just by downloading an app or logging in to a web browser, which will give me access to whatever software I need. There's no server involved in that I take care of. So there's a server somewhere else, but not my own server. I'm not in charge of taking care of a server. All I have to do is pay a subscription fee and I get access through all of my devices. Conversely, on-premises software is when you do own your own software, or you do own your own server. And you're also in charge of maintaining that server. Now that we're on the same page in terms of what SaaS is, let's take a look at why you might want to use it to deploy your service software. Okay, so arguably the biggest benefit of SaaS is that it reduces your IT costs. It's kind of difficult to write and talk at the same time. So, all right, so SaaS reduces your IT costs. We kind of mentioned or hinted at this before. With on-premises software, you're in charge of maintaining your own server. That could require a ton of time from your IT team and also a ton of costs whenever you need any updates to your server, or you need to replace the server for some reason. Those costs are huge and they're all on you and your IT team. So with the SaaS solution, it actually frees up your IT team to work on other tasks and may even prevent you from having to hire a whole new team of IT people. So reduced IT costs are probably the #1 benefit. The #2 benefit, I'd say, is that SaaS lowers your total cost of ownership, TCO. Okay, so let's just go through a quick example to highlight what this means. Let's say you are a little skeptical and you choose to go with an on-premises solution that costs X number of dollars. You have a competitor that goes the SaaS route and spends half of what you do. So obviously that first year your costs are much, much higher. But you're thinking down the line they have to pay these subscription fees. They might end up paying actually more than you pay. But every 5 years or so, you have to replace the server because it's not up to date. As we mentioned in point 1, you are in charge of all of those maintenance costs. So it almost never evens out. The on-premises solution is almost always more. And we have sources to back this up. Software Advice and others have found that have created calculators and done lots of studies that show that this is actually the case, that SaaS has a lower total cost of ownership almost always in the long run, and well, definitely in the long run and almost always in the short term. The next benefit might actually be a little surprising. SaaS actually improves security. All right, so every once in a while we come across a business owner who is afraid of, maybe feels a little possessive over his data. He wants to keep it right there in his business. And so he chooses to go the on-premises route, thinking that that'll actually be more secure than if his data was hosted somewhere else. But actually, data hosted in the cloud and deployed through SaaS has constant security monitoring. So these are things that your team just realistically could not handle, or most businesses don't have the resources to constantly monitor for security threats. Another great security benefit of SaaS is their failover capabilities. So let's say you have a server on the East Coast, that's the server. This is on the East Coast. There's a big tornado that comes and it destroys that server. If you are hosted on a SaaS, if you're using SaaS, then the server actually fails over to another server. So not only do you not lose any of your data, you actually don't even experience any downtime. You might not even know that this server is completely destroyed and your data is on another server. It automatically fails over, which is great for security, great for business, obviously pretty cool. The next benefit of SaaS is that it actually allows for much faster deployment. So that basically means you don't have to wait on anyone to come on site, install your server, have your maintenance team do whatever they need to do to get it up and running. You can outsource all of that to your cloud provider. So, so your team is up and running faster, you're able to use the software a lot faster. So our friends over at Field Technologies Online actually found that about 56% of service organizations are considering SaaS, and the number one reason that they were considering SaaS is faster deployment. So this is obviously a very important factor for service organizations, and definitely a benefit if you're looking at SaaS solutions. The last benefit that we're going to cover, although there are definitely more benefits for SaaS, is that it actually allows for easier integrations with other, let's see if I can write this. So if you're looking to integrate, let's say, your ERP system with your service management software, those integrations are a lot easier if the two systems are cloud-based. And not only are the integrations easier, but it's also easier to make customizations. Since the software is much more flexible, it's easier to go in and cater things specifically to your business needs. As you can see, SaaS is not just a trend. This is something that's sticking around. Businesses everywhere are using it. We actually found that from research, a stat from research advisory firm Gartner, that in 2015, the potential for SaaS revenue is $21.3 billion. That's billion with a B. It was only half of that in 2010. So this is a growing enterprise software trend for businesses in all industries, but with a mobile workforce like service management, it definitely fits that industry quite well. So while it's not the only option out there, it's fast becoming the best option out there. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in this week. That's all I have for SaaS. Next week, Adam Bartos will be presenting on how to efficiently manage a dealer network. It should be really great, so please do tune in. Thanks again, and see you next week for another edition of Field Force Friday.